Hey guys, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be discussing some solid value bets against the spread in college basketball for February 9th, 2017. Thanks for stopping on in today. If you're interested in getting our daily free pick over at our main website, stumpthespread.com, you can get over there by clicking on the logo in the top right-hand corner of this video. If you're on desktop or if you're unable to do that, we'll also link Stump the Spread in the video description. In today's video, we got 5 games that we're going to be touching on. If you're interested in what those matchups are, I will put those in the video description as well. If you're looking to get more of this content in the future, you can click that subscribe button, and also any thumbs up are greatly appreciated. So we're going to start things out today over in the horizon between Youngstown State and Illinois Chicago. Youngstown State, up-tempo team that tends to sacrifice defense to really push the pace of play. They have one of the top players in the conference with Cameron Morris, who's averaging 22 points per game. Youngstown State is sitting more in the bottom tier of the horizon right now, but this is one of those matchups where they could potentially come through on the road. Youngstown State has some decent results on the road this year. For instance, they won at Wright State, and they've also won at Green Bay, who are two of the better teams in the conference. And, whether they've been at home or on the road, Youngstown State tends to perform similarly, kind of not necessarily depending on what arena that they're in. Youngstown State does have the ability to put up some solid offensive numbers. This is a top 100 ranked offensive team in the nation right now, but they do sacrifice their defense, like I said, as they rank below 300th in the nation in total defense. Going on the road here today against an Illinois-Chicago squad that's been a lot more competitive this year than we saw out of them a season ago, and that was to be expected given the talent that this group was able to add. Unfortunately for Illinois-Chicago, they've been without their leading scorer, Dikembe Dixon, who's been out for quite an extended period of time. And, it's been tough to replace his 20 points per game that he was averaging when he was in the lineup. Illinois-Chicago, they are currently standing more in the mid-tier right now of the horizon, but they haven't been all that great on their home court. Illinois-Chicago just 2-4 at home so far this season, so definitely not a team that's been having tremendous success at home. We do expect this to be a more competitive matchup and probably a higher scoring game, probably somewhere in the 70 to 80s, probably more likely to be in the 80-point range given the style that both of these teams play. Illinois-Chicago is one of those other top 100 ranked offensive teams in the horizon, but they also do sacrifice their defense a bit as well. Like I said, we do feel like this is going to be a fairly competitive matchup, and Youngstown State getting these 7 points is going to feel like the better value bet against the spread in this matchup. Moving on down here to one of the big matchups that we get today, and it's between North Carolina and Duke. North Carolina, they currently stand atop the ACC in what's been just a tremendous year for the conference as a whole. It's not going to be easy for North Carolina to hold on to that top spot, especially with how we've been seeing them play as of late. North Carolina recently losing by 15 points on the road against Miami, and then during their recent homestand, the Tar Heels failed to cover the spread in each of their last 2 outings, going on to beat Pittsburgh by just 2 points, and then in their last outing against Notre Dame by single digits as well. This is a North Carolina squad that we don't like as much as last year's group. We just don't feel like they have the same type of veteran leadership that they got out of guys like Bryce Johnson and Marcus Page. Not to say that this isn't still a very talented group. We just don't think that this version of North Carolina has as good a chances to making a run at the Final Four as last year's group, but they'll definitely get their chance to prove us wrong. North Carolina going into a tough road environment here, and in their last road outing, watching North Carolina, we were not impressed at all, especially offensively in their inability to put the ball in the bucket against Miami. This is going to be a pretty tough matchup here today. Duke isn't quite as solid defensively as Miami, but they also do bring a higher ceiling on the offensive end. Duke got off to a slow start in the ACC, but they have been picking things up a bit more as of late, and Grayson Allen and Luke Kennard, 2 veterans there that are really strong, solid, experienced players that you would expect to continue to pick things up as we head towards postseason play. Duke has that great home court advantage, and we really do like the Blue Devils to leverage their home court and continue to build off of some of their recent successes as they go on to win and cover the spread against the Tar Heels, who haven't been looking quite as good as of late as we were seeing out of them in the first half of ACC play. Moving on down to the Big Ten, we have Wisconsin versus Nebraska. Wisconsin, the reason that they currently stand atop the Big Ten is because they've been taking care of business in their matchups against the lower tier teams in the league. Wisconsin is going to be a huge threat come March, given the fact that this is one of the most experienced teams in the nation. And, Wisconsin has great head coaching. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. And, they also do have the ability to put up solid offensive numbers, but the Badgers tend to preserve themselves a bit more and, not necessarily push things as fast as they could potentially. That does cause Wisconsin to play in, some competitive games, but we also have seen Wisconsin win in blowout fashion on occasion as well this year. Going on the road here against Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, younger team, have a lot of potential in the future if this group stays together and continues to develop. Nebraska has shown sparks of really solid play, but they've also more recently have not been able to come through in a number of close games. Nebraska winning just one of their last 8 contests. And that one win did come at home against Purdue in what was a really solid upset win there for Nebraska. But in their last home outing, the Huskers weren't able to get the job done. They fell by double digits against Michigan State. And we do feel like the Huskers could have similar issues here against a Wisconsin team that we value a bit more than the Spartans. We do like Wisconsin to go into this tough road atmosphere and really play with a lot of composure as they go on to win and cover the spread against a Nebraska team that has been slipping a bit as of late with not having quite as competitive results as we've been used to seeing from them. So we do like Wisconsin to go ahead and come through here against the spread. Just a couple more games that I want to touch on, starting with Washington State against Utah. This is a rematch of a game that we saw a few weeks back where Utah went on the road to Washington State, and they went on to win that one by over 40 points. One of the bigger blowouts in the Pac-12 this year. It's really hard to forget just how dominant Utah looked on both sides of the ball against this Washington State group. Washington State has been able to find some wins, at least in the Pac-12 this year, but still a team that has had their struggles against the upper tier squads in the conference. Utah gets this rematch on their home court, and Utah was really able to exploit Washington State's defense, and we don't see that changing, especially with Utah getting it on their home court in this one. Utah having one of the better home court advantages in the Pac-12. We like them to go on and really just blitz past this Washington State squad again as they go on to win and cover this spread. All right, just one more game that I want to touch on. Scrolling on down here, a matchup over in the Ohio Valley Conference between Belmont and Jacksonville State. We've been very impressed with what Belmont has been showing us. They're undefeated in the OVC right now, and they've not only been, impressive on their home court, but also on the road. They've gone into some tough road atmospheres and really performed very well as of late. For instance, Belmont convincingly beat Tennessee State on the road, and then also Belmont went into Murray State, which is one of the tougher road atmospheres in the conference, and they went on to beat the Racers by double digits as well. Some very strong results for the Bruins, and this is just a team that's playing on a different level right now compared to the other competition in the OVC. Jacksonville State has been one of the better teams in the OVC East Division, which is the same division that Belmont is in, but currently standing at 7-4 in conference, and they will have their hands full today. Belmont has been one of the better balanced teams in the conference. They rank very respectively on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, where Jacksonville State's more of a defensive-oriented team that doesn't necessarily always put up the great numbers on the offensive side of the ball. We feel like Belmont's going to be able to outpace the Gamecocks in this one, just like they've done in recent tough road games as they go on to win and cover this manageable spread. So those are the games that I wanted to touch on in today's video. Again, if you're interested, you can head on over to our main website to get our daily free play, and that is going to be a matchup over there between St. Peter's and Quinnipiac over in the MEAC if you want to get our take on that matchup. And while you're over there, if you want, you can register a free account, and we're climbing very close to our a big milestone for us. We're creeping up on 10,000 total users. Right now we're at 9,953, I believe, so we're pretty excited about that, and really greatly appreciate anyone that wants to go ahead and register a free account over on our main website. If you're looking to get more of this pick video content in the future, you can click that subscribe button, and any thumbs up are greatly appreciated. Thanks guys for stopping on in today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.